Hi class. Today we're going to create a pattern and repeat it. This worksheet is going to prepare us for a weaving project that we'll be doing. The first thing I want you to do is write your first and last name on the back of your graph paper. Please write nice and neat so I can read it. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to select 4 colored pencils. Your pencils need to be very different from each other. You want values that are different from each other. You want them to contrast. You're going to create your pattern in a space that is 10 squares by 40 squares. So you want to mark on your paper where the 10 by 40 squares are. So here's 10. And the paper is already 40 squares long. So you need to plan accordingly. Next, very helpful to mark the very center of your paper. So half of 40 is 20. So you just need to take one of your colored pencils and mark the center. So right here is the center. Next, some of the weaving terms that you're going to learn are tabby and bars. So first we're going to talk about tabby. Tabby is, which I think that word should be tabby, are rows. They are rows that go side to side. So tabby is actually the string on your weaving that's going to go right to left. So tabby is rows that go side to side. So I'm just going to start with red, and I'm going to start creating my pattern. I'm going to make a row of red, and then blue, then red, then blue. So I'm just starting with one color and make it red, and then blue, red, and blue. Your pattern needs to fill the entire space. So your pattern needs to fill up the entire space. You're not filling up the whole sheet, you're just filling up the 10 by 40 space. So I want to fill up this entire space here. If I know that my pattern is starting with red, blue, then at the bottom I want to go red, blue, red, blue. I'm going to repeat the same thing at the bottom. We're Remember, this is tabby because tabby goes side to side. When we start weaving on our pillow, you're going to have a pattern called tabby, and it's going to go side to side. This is going to be the main portion of your pillow. So I have created tabby. That is going red, blue, and I've repeated that at the bottom. Red, blue, red, blue. Next, I'm going to do 2 rows of yellow. This is still tabby. It's just more rows of tabby. So I'm doing 2 rows of tabby. I want to repeat my pattern, so I'm going to do 2 rows of tabby down here. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to encase my blue, encase the yellow with blue. So I'm going to do another row of tabby of blue and then another one of red. Because you only have 4 colors and you have to repeat those 4 colors over and over throughout your project. That's part of repetition. It's called the repetition of color. So we're repeating our color and we are repeating our pattern. Now I'm going to do another red. By having one space in here with a color that's 2 in a row, it's going to make it a little bit more interesting than if all of my rows were exactly the same width. Alright, remember what I'm doing up here? I'm doing the same thing down here, but I'm flipping it. Okay, so remember this is tabby. Next, we're going to learn about bars. So bars are columns that go up and down. So bars are columns, and the columns are going to go up and down. You're going to just choose 2 colors to use for your bars. I'm going to use my yellow and purple. So I'm going to create a set of bars. And every other one is going to be yellow. And every other one is going to be purple. Purple and yellow will look good together as bars because they're very different from each other. You're going to see contrast. When we make our pillows, you are going to do a weaving technique called bars. I'm going to do the same thing down here because I'm repeating my pattern. Your pattern needs to fill up this entire space. So these are bars. This is tabby because it's going side to side. Bars goes up and down. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit more of my pattern in here. So I'm going to start with red. I like using red next because I used it before my bars and now I'm using it after my bars. I think it looks really nice to enclose your bars in the same color. Next I'm going to use blue. You can see that I chose blue because I have bars and then red and then blue. So next I'm going to use yellow. I could have used 2 rows of yellow, but I chose just to use 1 because I want to leave room to put more bars in here. And I'm still repeating my pattern because I have red, blue, yellow, yellow, blue, red. I've got the same thing down here. I'm repeating this here. So the next color I'm going to use is blue, then red. So I'm going to put blue here. And then I'm going to put red. You can also see that my color is going red, blue, yellow. I planned that. Red, blue, yellow. I'm creating a pattern and I'm repeating it. Next I want to put bars in here. I'm going to repeat my same color because I want to use as much repetition as possible. So I'm going to color every other one purple and every other one yellow. Everyone's pattern is going to look different. You are not going to use this same pattern. You're not going to use these same colors. You're going to choose the colors that you want, the colors you like, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the colors you plan on using on your pillow project, but I just want some experience for you with planning out and placing colors in the form of pattern and pattern that is repeated. I want you to repeat your pattern and repeat your colors. You can also use the space to the right of your paper to help you plan out your colors. Before you dig in with the colored pencils and make your hands sore by coloring really deep and dark and heavy so it looks pretty, you can use this space out to the right to plan and see what colors you like. You can try to figure out a pattern that is interesting to you so that when you start on your actual pattern, this part that will be graded, you will have had a little bit of practice over here. You don't necessarily have to use a completely different sheet of paper. You can use this sheet of paper and just practice over here till you see one you like, and then apply it over here to your 10 by 40 space. That's it.